Hello, welcome everyone. This is Trisha with Creations from Within. I'm going to show you how I made this little envelope. I've got to glue it a little bit more there, but what I made it with is some tissue paper and some freezer paper, plastic coated freezer paper. Okay, and I don't have the box, but this is just regular parchment paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of freezer paper, shiny side up, okay? And hold on, gotta get my tissue paper. I have one specifically cut to my size. There it is, okay. And for this 4 by 5, see, well, 4 1/4 by 5. So this way it will make a nice journal. I'm going to try and save some of this paper. That measures about 13 inches by about 9 inches. So that way I have plenty. And I like to crinkle this up to give it a different look. Make sure your shiny side is up. Oh, hold on. We are going to need an iron. And I have to plug mine in. So just one moment. Okay, I'm back. I have a little mini iron. And I use it for crafting. But this is why if you have a regular iron, you can use parchment paper so it doesn't get wax on it. Okay, so now that my iron is hot and I got my parchment paper to protect my iron, I'm making sure I have the shiny side up. Okay, and I'm going to iron it to the edges, from the inside to the edges. You want to try and get out all of the air bubbles and make sure that it sticks. And definitely make sure you are on a surface. Like you see, I have a towel underneath because I'm at my work table. Oh, I need more iron. And just keep going over it for a couple minutes. See that corner there? I want to make sure I want to grab that corner. There you go. Just making sure that, especially on the corners, the edges, making sure it's evenly heated. This way the tissue paper adheres to the wax paper. Now, for the life of me, I can't remember who told me the inspiration on YouTube. If I can find that, I will link her video down below. I've also done this with coffee filters and made envelopes. And I'm looking to make a video on that as well. Okay, so now that that's done, on this side, then what we want to do is turn it over, and this is why you want to have a good surface to protect. So that way, I like to use a towel or something underneath so I can make sure I get to the edges of the tissue paper. Now you don't have to worry about the wax on this side because there's no wax on this side. And I like to use something old because the wax will come off onto the tail that's there. So make sure that you plan wisely so that it doesn't ruin whatever you're on. Protect whatever you're on. Just go a couple minutes. Make sure it's sealed. And now what we're going to do is unplug my iron. We're going to pull this up. We're going to let it sit and cool. See how it's stuck there? See that? And now we're just going to let it sit, air dry for a little while. Then we're going to cut out around it. And I'm going to show you how I folded that and glued it together. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to trim down right around the edges of this to make it a little bit more workable space for me. And I'll show it to you in just a second here. And what it does is it's tissue paper. And it gives, you'll have crinkles in it because I crinkled it a little bit, or it was crinkled. Now see, I'm going to leave that there like that. That's fine. See all the crinkles and the texture in it? I don't know what that is, but there we go. That comes off. Okay. Well, we got something over here. Probably from that towel. So we'll just get that off. Now, my work desk here. So, what I'm going to do here is trying to get you into space. I don't know. I guess we'll go like this for you. So this measures 4 1/4. So I need that 8 1/2 wide here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first fold it in half. You see how it's real strong paper now. So I'm just going to look up and see where it's folded in half, just a little bit over, and make sure that I have at least 4 1/2 inches. And that is definitely it. No, nope, that would be wrong. I'm wrong there. It has to be 11 inches because it's 5 inches wide. So we want it 5 inches wide at least, and some overhang, because what we're going to do is we're going to fold it at 5 inches, and then we're going to tuck it and we're going to glue it. Okay, so I just lined this up so I can get a straight edge over here. Okay, and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be at the 7 mark line here. Okay, and then I'm going to take it and fold it up a little bit. Okay, fold that over, make sure it's on the 7 line. Like that. And then I'm going to fold it back. Okay, and then put it back. So it's precisely on the same line. See, the paper wasn't even, but that's okay. We're going to do the same thing right exactly where that fold is. We're going to crease it up. Okay. And we're going to flip it over and fold it back on that crease line. Okay. And then you want to check, because we're going to glue these two together. Okay. Now, let me think for a minute how I did that. I know I did glue these two pieces together, but there's probably an easier way for me to do that. So I want to make sure that this is 8 1/2 this way at least. And look at that, it's fine. Got plenty of room to maneuver with it. That little fold is up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to do it the way I did it before. I use Fabri-Fix because it does not wrinkle the paper. But I use PVA glue on the inside of it, so you can do it either way. Put it all the way up to the edge. And all around the middle. I like to use plenty of this glue so it adheres very well. And I'm going to turn it sideways, line it up, flatten it out. Now, you can get a rag, you can use baby wipes to get out the excess glue. Press it down firmly, make sure they're lining up and it's not scooting anywhere. Now, be careful when you use anything to wipe off your place. And we're going to just keep pressing this together and holding it down really, really good. We're going to let it dry for a little while, about 5-10 minutes, so it gets a nice seal. And then I'm going to open it up and show you how to glue the inside. Okay, this is a little tricky. And if you figure out a better way, let me know. So I'm going to take my glue bottle, stick it down in here. This is what I want to do. Is this flap here, I want to adhere to it to this side of the paper. Okay? Maybe there's a smarter way. I just haven't figured it out yet. So comment down below if you know a better way. This is why on the first one, I used the PVA glue. It was easier. And then flatten it down, but you do got to be careful that you're not gluing it together, because you want to make it like a tube inside there so you can fit your hand in. Make sure there's no excess glue coming out, making sure that it is flat on each side and glued. Okay, we're going to let that dry for a little bit, and then what we're actually going to do is take where we just glued and we're going to flatten that down and line it up with the other crease, and we're going to flatten it. Okay, so those seams that we just created are down along the middle. Okay, now we do have to let this glue dry, because you don't want to do what I did here. I took it and folded it, and see how it has that little bubble there? It wasn't all the way dry. So now I got to go back and fix that to adhere that down, because that's going to be the middle of my journal book, and I don't want it to come unglued there. Okay, and creating an envelope pocketbook journal with envelopes on the sides of it. Now, what we can do in the meantime is line it up, and we are going to cut it, because we want to cut these ends off straight, because these are going to be side pockets to go in. So it doesn't really matter. We just need to make them 8.5 inches wide. Okay, see, 8.5 inches wide. We're going to go here on this side. I'm going to use my rotor. Cut it. Okay, so then I get 8.5. Oh, well, let me put it down here. Well, that doesn't do it. Let me pull the board around. And I could do it from this direction so you can see. Okay. Even though I'm using it up on the number 2, I'm still lining it up at the 0. So I can measure over 8.5. I'm right on the 8.5 line. I'm cutting off all this excess. Be careful with whatever you cut with. Scissors, rotor, whether you use a razor knife, X-Acto knife, it doesn't really matter. Just please be careful. Okay? And then once this is all dry, we are going to fold it up like this. And this is going to be the construction of the journal page. Then what I'm going to do is take some designer series paper and put on here next. I will show you that later on in the video. This is just how I maybe another video, maybe continue for this one. Either way, it will be linked in the description down below. Okay, now that that's dried, I am going to get my cardstock, my designer series paper, and I am making journals, Journey Through Time. And I'm using this paper pack of Parkland Wonders maps. And here we have the New York, looks like city streets. So what I want to do is I want to line this up so I have where I want it. You know, do I want it up here, down here? I don't want to, do I want to go this way? So let's think about that. Because the journal book will open this way. So let's just do a little design. Do I want it that way? Or do I want it this way? Because this will be on the front and that will be on the back. But really, I will have another blue piece of paper here and it will say Journey Through Time. So you're really only going to see the outer edges of it. So I still would like to read from top to bottom. So what we are going to do is, because this is 8.5, we want to cut it at 8 inches. That will give us a 1/4 inch on each side. Okay, so what I really want is a 1/16 of an inch. I'm not really good with math, but it's 2 of these. So we really want to cut it at, so it's only a 1/16 with inside a 1/16 inch all the way around. That's my object here, to create that. So I'm going to cut that so it's a 1/16 all the way around the edge. Here we go. Okay, so we got to cut it at 8 1/4 this way. All right, well, let's take this back here. Move my stuff out of the way. Line it up. And 8 1/4 is right here. And line that up with the 8 1/4. Always triple check your ruler before cutting. I learned that the hard way. Hopefully you won't have to. And hold it down, especially if you're on a rotor. Okay. Well, you see, I didn't press down because I wasn't standing up. It's okay. I'll get my paper scissors. I think these are little bumblebee scissors. Love them. My mother used to use these, and I found some, and I bought them. Love it. Okay, so then next, to get a 1/4 inch this way, let's turn the paper this way. Okay. I'm just taking you through my whole process. Okay, we want to line that up at the 1/16. So where I got it here, let's put it back over here so we can tell you the real dimensions. That would probably be really helpful if you're going to think about making this. Okay, so it looks like we want to go to the line before the 5. I'm not really good with that, but I'll get better one day. I believe that's it. So let's just double check again before I cut it, because we want to put that out there. Yeah, that's where I'm going to go, because that would be 3/4, and then I want to go just a 1/16. And over there. This time I'm going to stand up so I can apply the pressure that I need for the rotor cutter. Put it up against the edge. Making sure it doesn't cut. Okay, now let's see if I did this one right. Woo! We can always just trim it up just a little. Oh, that looks fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. Okay, so let's measure out this one and do the same. We're making 2 journal books here together. These are different sides than I made the other ones. Now, I always just double check each one because each one is made just a little differently. Oh yeah, it's the same marking. Oops. Let me make sure. I say that, but I need to make sure. So we're really going to go there, and that is, oh, that was a little bit different. Make sure I got this lined up. Okay. And then I'm going to scoot that over about the 16th. And where's it going to end? Yep, I was right. It should go to the same line. Why not? They're the same size. Sometimes I cut off. And it wiggles a little bit. That's why I like to triple check, hold lots of pressure down, and then cut. Okay. I never throw any of my things away. Always use it for something. Okay, let's see how I did there. Great. Now we will be folding them in half like this. So we will be right back.